From the Opubco Studios at Britain and Broadway, you're listening to a News OK podcast.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to a News OK Comics podcast. I am Matt Price. I'm here with Kyle Roberts. After several weeks of what felt like really huge release weeks, it kind of trimmed down this week. We're going to basically talk about two books that I felt like were the two biggest books this week. Supergirl from Oklahoman Sterling Gates, and then the second issue of Dark Avengers. And we'll kick it off with Supergirl. It continues the Who is Superwoman mystery. And you've got Supergirl returning to Earth, Superwoman trying to stop her, then being called away on yet another mission.
She keeps getting these side missions, and so you don't really know who that's from, but you get the idea she's part of some other bigger team or something like that.
Yeah, she's got some connections that we're not completely aware of yet. You also have Gates continuing to build up some of his supporting cast. You've got a scene with Cat Grant. Mm-hmm. You've got a scene with Reactron. You've got a scene with Inspector Henderson and Lucy Lane. So all these subplots are kind of building. In some ways, it reminded me of the 1990s Superman comics, sort of the after the death and return of Superman, where they kind of definitely were always building up a supporting cast and had multiple storylines in the air. That's kind of what it felt like to me. Also, a really nice Origins and Omens backup story. Maybe the best Origins and Omens backup I've read out of all the ones that they've done in DC Comics, as you kind of get hints about what's coming in Supergirl's future, including looking like a return of the Silver Banshee. So, another solid issue as the Superwoman mystery builds, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. So,
what do you think, Superwoman, villain or hero?
Well, so far the signs seem to point towards villain. She, in one of the new Krypton issues, she seems to have killed Agent Liberty.
Right.
And her motives beyond that are pretty obscure so far. We don't know who she is or what it is she wants exactly. So, certainly she's worked at cross purposes to Superman and Supergirl at some point. So, right now it certainly seems like she's a villain. Could she have a change of heart? Could she have a motivation we're not aware of? I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Sure. All right.
And then some people who are definitely villains, but dressed up like heroes.
Yeah.
The Dark Avengers.
Yeah, and this, basically Norman Osborn introduces Hammer, so I guess you could say in Dark Avengers, it is Hammer time.
Very nice.
As MC Hammer would say.
As we saw last issue, the Dark Avengers were introduced, and they're sort of doppelgangers of some of the new Avengers. You've got a Spider-Man and a Wolverine, but they're not the Spider-Man and Wolverine that we know.
Not at all.
And so Norman Osborn is organizing this team to replace the Avengers, and it's filled with mostly villains and people from his Thunderbolts team, as well as a couple of new characters. So in a lot of ways, kind of a sequel to Warren Ellis's Thunderbolts, with now these guys replacing, in the public's eye, the Avengers. In this issue, Dr. Doom has been reinstalled in Latveria by Norman Osborn, and he comes under attack from Morgan Le Fay. So Norman Osborn's Avengers go to defend their ally, Dr. Doom.
Yeah, and this comic itself just kind of keeps showing the corruptness of Norman Osborn. He's kind of supposed to be the leader of this team, and any other leader of a team. Obviously, you can tell this is a team of villains, but they're acting like heroes. And he keeps threatening his team, and I don't know. He just keeps kind of showing the political corruptness of Norman.
Right, trying to keep this group of psychopaths and malcontents in line. So, interesting so far. I guess we'll see how it develops. If you liked Ellis's Thunderbolts, this is probably a good follow-up to that as well. So, those are the two we looked at this week. I would recommend Supergirl, although these, like I said, I thought were the two strongest releases of the week.
Sure, yeah, I'll pick Supergirl too.
All right, so for Kyle Roberts, I'm Matt Price. Thanks for watching.
Let's see